Good evening and a very warm welcome to the Insider Essay, your guide to living better. Join us today as we open up to our local heroes, boldly showing that nothing is impossible. Khanyisa Jaceni turns her life around from losing her job during COVID to create a TikTok following in the millions. As well as saving lives on our beaches, nature boy Ryle de Morny challenges his schoolboy friends and the rest of us to live more with the life we've got. Releasing 3 albums during lockdown, Afrikaans rockers Die Heuwels Fantasties sing out loud what the rest of us are feeling. Real South African superheroes come dressed in the green of Gift of the Givers, founded by Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman to always be there and never expect a thing in return. And to Paralympic double medalist Louzanne Coetzee, if life's a marathon, then it's one she's determined to win. As understated as the city she hails from, in 2021, Bloemfontein athlete and double Paralympic medalist Louzanne went from local hero to an international icon of endurance sport, who still quietly goes about her business until you ask her about running.
Hi Insider SA, my name is Louzanne Coetzee. I'm a Paralympian. Welcome to A Day in My Life. A Paralympian is an athlete with a disability who competes at similar games to the Olympic Games. So the Paralympic Games take place 3 weeks after the Olympic Games. And that is where all athletes with different disabilities compete in specific classifications against each other. I have an eye condition, Leber's amaurosis. That means that both my parents were carriers of a specific gene that caused my retinas not to develop properly. So I've been visually impaired since birth.
A residence head at the University of the Free State, she's not one to sit behind a desk.
I actually discovered my love for running by accident by competing in a university track meet that was specifically there for first years. And I met a coach a little while after that who actually said to me I should consider running longer distances. In 2013, I did my first national championships. There I qualified for my first world championships. So for my marathon training, I train with Klaus, and for my track training and my speed work, I run with Erasmus. Because it's such different disciplines, I need to use 2 people for the different sessions. There are a few rules that apply. So one specific rule is that when you're running a race, the guide is not allowed to pull me at any point in the race. If he's pulling me, that means he's kind of helping me.
No, so for me, running next to someone is actually a privilege in the sense that they have to listen to my stories. Me and Louzanne is connected, and she and Estienne is connected with DSTV when we run. So she can't run away, she has to laugh at my jokes and that kind of thing. One of the more technical things about running with someone next to someone connected is that you can't let go of DSTV. Because if you do in a race, whether it's track or road, then you can get disqualified. So it's quite important to hang on to this.
There's a lot of communication that needs to happen, especially when there's a bump in the road or we need to turn left or right. I need to communicate that quite clearly with her. I am not allowed to run in front of her, and especially at the finish line. When she crosses, I'm not allowed to cross in front of her. That would lead to a disqualification.
Running alongside someone is really a rewarding experience. It's the only way I can run, so it's obviously very important to me to be able to run alongside someone. So I think the relationships that you build with people also are very meaningful, and the trust you have to put in someone is really something else.
At the Rio Games, Louzanne was disqualified on a ruling that her guide stepped in front of her, a lesson well learned by the next games.
So I went to the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics and I won a silver medal in the 1,500 meters with an African record in the T11 classification. And I did the marathon in the T12 classification because there is no T11 classification on its own. However, I won a bronze medal in the race and I broke the world record for the T11 classification within the bigger race. So winning the 2 Tokyo Paralympics 2020 medals was really a great privilege for me. It was my first big medals at a big international event, and I've been running internationally for 8 years now, so both of them were very meaningful. I remember when we were walking out onto the podium, Estienne said to me, "You're now a Paralympic silver medalist and no one can take that away from you." And I think it was a very, very special moment, which I find quite difficult to describe. I've really raced 2 or 3 tough marathons in the past. My debut marathon was the Soweto Marathon, and it was really a difficult debut, and I struggled through that race, and then I had an ITB injury when I raced in 2019. So the marathon medal was meaningful in that way, and in the way that, like, I've known Klaus for 5 years, and for 5 years he's been saying to me, I wish a marathon for you one day where everything just falls into place, because those marathons are great marathons, and it actually happened in Tokyo. And that was really special, and to share that moment with him on the podium as well, you know, when I finally experienced that type of marathon that he wished for me.
Admitting she had nothing left in the tank after that 42-kilometer triumph, she did rise for a rare privilege.
I was a flag bearer for Team SA at the closing ceremony. It's actually something that I've always dreamed about, and after winning the bronze medal, it was even a more special moment for me. I really enjoyed it, and it was very exciting for me to be a flag bearer for Team SA, and it was such an honor taking that flag out for the country. And after 8 years of competing internationally and then winning a medal and doing the flag bearing on the same day, it was really a big honor for me.
Raised by her parents to become a strong, independent, resolute woman, Louzanne's mission is that her story will now offer hope to any who need it. Coming up, romance, childhood, the bitter, sweet, and the open road ahead. Die Heuwels Fantasties keep making the music to help us get through the night and celebrate life. The Brede Kloof Valley between the Vaihoek and Slanghoek Mountains is a fitting place to meet a band called Die Heuwels Fantasties. Heroes to a generation of young rockers, they were the first Afrikaans outfit to have a #1 album on the SABC's Top 20.
Ek's Pierre.
Ek's Hunter.
Ek is Freddy.
Ons is Die Heuwels Fantasties. It's been 12 years on the road, but it's been great. We wrote our first song when we were 16, we went in high school, and then I met Fred at varsity, played in different bands before we started this band.
Dit raak nou lank, hysteries gewees, meeste van die tyd gerank, ons het genoeg, kan aan 'n plan maak, elders skuiling soek, dis genoeg, jy's genoeg.
We've gotten married in between starting this band and gotten kids. Hunter's got a daughter, I've got a son.
Freddy's got a girlfriend.
Rosalie!
We met at Oppie in 2016. From there on, we just saw each other twice or so, and then in lockdown, we started chatting again. And yeah, that's basically our story.
Wow, het ruikt so lekker binne.
Sal, hierdie is 'n lekker kamer.
Yes, check 'n lekker radiootjie. Hier gaan ons 'n lekker bubble bath vat vanaand. Ah, beautiful.
Surrendering to the luxury, Pierre and Hunter forgot the road for a while.
Kacheltjie. This is not what we're generally used to. Sometimes we treat ourselves, but I mean, out here in the mountains, it's pretty lekker.
Getting to travel and play country venues is the band's oxygen. During 2020's lockdown, they launched the album 2021 with a full live online show. But convenient as home comforts are, they can't beat a crowd, and the boys are ready to rock.
Our first single off of our new album, Volume, is called Ego. And as far as I know, Pierre wrote it in Vleesbaai. Place it into one thing, but it's a ballad, but it's not that sad, but it is quite heart-wrenching, I think, but there's an element of victory to it as well.
It's a collab with our friends from Spookwolf, and Donnie sings the second verse, and he contributed immensely on that verse lyrically as well, and Albert, their bass player, came into the studio and played an amazing hook on the bass on it. We've just released our 8th studio album. It's called Volume. It's spelled exactly the same as volume. But yeah, it's part of a 2-part, so volume 2 will come out on the back of this. And
it's actually our fourth release, third album since lockdown started, which I think is quite cool to mention. I don't think we've ever put out albums in such a short time frame.
Now they're feeling like kids whose moms have at last let them out to play.
Yeah, amazing. Last time I was here, I actually had Tace with me, my son, and yeah, he enjoyed himself thoroughly. This place is unbelievable for children, man. Now you're a child.
Now we can be the children.
Now you're my child. You're my son now.
Whatever your family arrangement, General Manager at Bosch's, Carlin Foster, is happy to have you.
Bosch's is one of the oldest farms in the valley. It's been around since 1790. Today we run it as a holiday farm. It's still a working farm, and we are most famous for our iconic chapel.
If Fred and Ryle have wedding plans, they sure weren't spilling any beans on this weekend.
Wow, dis mooi.
Dis ongelooflik mooi.
Unreal.
Die dakkies is so mooi.
Wat dink jy van die mooi weerkaatsing?
Die weerkaatsing is beautiful.
I'm very excited about the new offering of the hiking trails on the farm as well. In there we have antelope species like bontebok, eland, zebra, oryx, and people really have the opportunity to get close to these animals.
Yeah, usually I think the rate at which we put out albums was like 2-year cycles, you know, like take about a year to make it and then tour it for a year and then rinse, repeat. You know, we got pulled off the road by COVID, you know, couldn't play shows, so I think we used the time pretty well. People obviously return to their roots and like, how do you deal with something or how do we deal with life? Because my music's always been, or the stuff that I've written, it's always been very cathartic for me, you know. When I hear that music that we made, let's say on our 3rd album or 4th album, it kind of takes me back to that time.
Yeah, it's audio documentaries, I think, are albums for us.
We're always moving, you know. I get to one place, sleep, move on to the next. So it's nice to have a bit of time.
But I mean, it is amazing being out in nature. I think there's something that happens to your biochemistry or something in your brain, you know?
Bos, yes.
Yes! Lekker, julle.
This being the heart of Fynbos country, they even tried picking proteas, but drew the line at flower arranging.
Hallo Freddy.
Ek het jou blomme gebring.
It's beautiful, dankie. Oh.
Sorry, can we just get Hunter and them out of it? A little bit
Ga weg. Go away.
ongemaklik.
Now this was more like it.
This is a 1956 Cadillac sedan DeVille, one of only 2 in South Africa. I like the way of people looking at it, but it's a very comfortable ride, and yeah, it's just taking you back to a time that we don't experience anymore on the highway. So it's just great to cruise around in a 60, 70-year-old car.
Wow, it's electric windows.
Aircon and it's flipping. It's crazy. Look at the switches, quality.
Alright, is julle reg?
Right. Ons Joburg toe. Ons gooi. Yes, what an incredible machine, man. They say presidents used to drive in a Cadillac like that, so really cool. And just driving down with the windows open at a nice cruising speed, what a vibe.
People's tastes have gotten more real of late, and the farm's chef Miku Oosthuizen is all about that.
So today, Pierre, we are going to make a little smoked trout dish. So I've got some of the mise en place done already, but I'd really appreciate it if you can help me out. I've got everything.
You've done the hard work already, bro.
Yeah, I've done everything. I've set it up first, so yeah, we can take it from there. First of all, you can take this guy first.
Oh, man.
And just lift it up a bit.
Yeah.
And you'll see there's little ribbons, and you can just kind of spiral it out.
Wow.
And create a little layer. So yeah, dressing is done now. We've got sliced red onion, sliced spring onions. We've got salt, pepper. We've got some lekker orange zest, some lime zest. And then to finish it off, with a nice lekker glug of our farm olive oil. Right, Pierre, now it's your chance.
Okay, I'll eat these. Let's see how it goes. Is daai goeie reisje?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay, sweet. What was next?
Pierre's pretty good in the kitchen, so I'm not too worried, but I am worried about the fact that he's been gone for like half an hour. What's that guy doing?
Give me a point out of 10.
I'd give that a good 9.8 out of 10.
Well,
so
look
you've
at
set
that.
the bar.
You tell me. Dames en heren, appels en peren.
Classic.
Baie dankie.
So watter ene dink julle het ek gepleit?
Okay, so Pierre, ek dink hierdie het jy nie gepleit nie.
Okay.
Want hy's baie mooi gepleit.
Jy's verkeerd. Ek het dit gepleit.
Oh no!
Wow. Ek het iets geleer, hy het my geleer.
For main course, we've got a Karoo lamb rack. With that, we've got something called a potato galette. And then with that, we're doing like a traditional sout ribbetjie. With it, we just have some of our awesome local veg we want to showcase that we get from our farm, yeah.
Baie dankie julle.
Oh,
What?
When in the Klein Karoo,
Is jou kos?
Weet jy as al is so lekker ek het sommer alles opgeëet voor enigiemand anders. Ja.
Thanks, Chef Pierre.
Ek het my nie voorberei.
to this band, the sweetest thing is being with people again. That's why they make fans wherever they go.
Where's our chefs? Come guys, the real hero. Pull in.
Yes, Lion.
The stars of the show. Dankie julle.
Cheers.
Dankie guys.
That's fine.
Amazing.
Still to come, as her millions of TikTok fans now know, Khanyisa Jaceni is the funny, smart, singing and fearless proof that adversity is the mother of invention. Turning this agricultural land in the Eastern Cape into a game reserve took years. Their latest guest, TikTok sensation Khanyisa Jaceni, reinvented herself in 24 months and is quick to credit her mother Sindiswa in that success.
Kanyesa is a girl that was born and raised in Mpumalanga, but my whole family is from the Eastern Cape, Port Elizabeth. They were born and raised back here. So that's why I still have the strong Xhosa accent. We were raised by very, very strict parents. I mean, my parents are very strict. But yeah, they pride themselves in the strictness. Look at that smile. You say she's very proud. Like, yeah, I'm very strict. But I honestly appreciate each and every value they've taught us. Are still the morals and values that I carry myself.
We tried to raise them to be independent, not to depend on someone else. So even though it was so difficult for them to listen, but at the end, they will make sure that they are doing what we are telling them. That's how we raise them.
The rewards of that focused upbringing can now be enjoyed.
Welcome to one of our rooms. This is one of the tent rooms that we have here. Okay, so we have your king size bed here, and we have the bathroom there. You have a shower outside and the bath inside.
Outside?
Yes. You can have the shower under the stars.
I'm definitely trying that.
That's very nice. So I hope you guys are gonna enjoy yourselves here. Have a good time. If you do need anything, just dial reception. It's 101.
Thank you so much.
Hey, ladies.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. King Samoisa.
Chonga, kuhle up.
Yeah?
Awubonanga nto wena.
Hi, Bo.
You can have your shower outside. I will have my bath inside. Sure.
As well as her mother's sense of humor, Khanyisa had a serious career as a drafting operator until 2020.
COVID happened, I lost my job, and I was like, hey, Khanyisa, what else do you have, baby girl? And I had to reevaluate my life, reevaluate my choices, and see where I can go from there. I did hair, I did makeup, and then I grew from there. That's how I lived until I was like, okay, Khanyisa, what else do you have? And I started opening these social media accounts, and I started being active more often on these social media accounts. I would invest in data. I'd buy like 10 gigs of data, so I make sure that I upload things. So put myself out there. My TikTok journey has honestly opened doors, even for my other social media accounts. One thing that I've learned to do is to get on each app and be yourself and give another version of yourself on each app. On Instagram, show them that you can be poised and be that girl. On TikTok, be relatable, be fun. You know, on Twitter, also understand politics and all of that, but be very careful about commenting on politics. You know, you don't want to. Above it all, my TikTok, man, has helped me so much. It's taken off, and I'm super, super grateful to each and every supporter I have.
She has 1.7 million followers on TikTok, and by making this lifestyle a reality for herself after being jobless, she's their hero, ever ready to try something new.
It's very safe to play it. I'm gonna just try to show you how you do it. So if you can balance, put your thumb a little bit forward for your safety. Then you put your arrow behind. Yeah. Then you can use your pointing finger just to hold it, and then you pull in towards you. The more you pull it, the more get power. So like that.
Yes!
Kanyisa's mom has always aimed high.
Oh! You need to take a little bit lower.
Her daughter is a fast learner.
Yo! There you go. You hit the target.
That was nice. Growing up, I was a troublesome kid, you know. Troublesome, not so much, because it was just like a few years, and then I got over it eventually. I know she has some trust issues with me, but I'm trying to fix those issues that I've given her, you know, untamed. And I'm just constantly trying to understand the baby girl on a daily.
Touching the matter of understanding. It's not about trying to control her, but trying to show her how to do things. So the advice that I will be giving her, it's like from experience.
That's for the record. There were hits and misses in Miss Jaceni's lockdown transformation. She tried dancing and lip syncing, but realized that her public want to see her being herself. A recipe as popular as those of head chef Busisiwe Mhlakaza.
Today, we are going to do marinated beetroot salad.
Marinated
segments and pay. I'm gonna do the chicken breast, grilled, and then roast your veggies.
Yes.
With the flavor of the garlic.
Okay. We can't wait.
For you and your mother.
We can't wait.
You're just gonna put a little bit of a lettuce at the bottom.
Yes.
You add your beetroot.
One slice.
It depends how much you want. And then you can add your orange segments.
Yes.
You're also gonna add your pear, and this is your dressing, or you can choose the olive oil.
Hey, son, I'm going to cook for my mother.
Time to prove her mom's efforts weren't in vain.
My mom taught me a few things, how to saute, how to, you know, the basic cooking skills. But again, now I'm dibanazo those moments where I'm like, okay, let me look at the lazy market, you know, get some recipes there and get my family to try them. You know, the thing about doing it for family is that bazokukhumbuza but okay, yona ibimnandi qha shorter up. Where's ke umama son? Athi bububhanqa ke obusibhekelebo. You know, so it's always just such a blessing. Am I a master chef?
You are.
Thank you.
It looks beautiful.
Can I take my plate to my mother?
No problem.
I am so happy. I did all of this and I can't wait to taste it because
it looks amazing.
It looks good.
Before dinner, a visiting herd of elephant were led by a matriarch. To Kanyesa, it reflected her own journey, getting closer to the woman who guided her to adulthood and who she hoped would enjoy the dinner she'd prepared with such love.
Genuinely, what stood out for me was the citrus elements and how it merged so well with the pears. So I even broke a nail trying to, you know, cook, do the whole thing.
She is capable of doing anything, like cooking and whatever. only if she wants, but she was excellent today. Well done.
With an early morning outdoor shower as rewarding as her mother's fine dining review the night before, Kanyesa was ready for a game walk.
Bukela Lodge is in the southwest corner of the Amakhala Game Reserve, and it's pulled up into a gorge which gives it views over the full reserve.
Conservation is a central element to Bukela and all of the lodges on the Amakhala Game Reserve. The lodge business is there to support the game reserve. So every guest that we have at any one of the lodges really feeds directly into the game reserve as a whole and supports and sustains conservation, which has allowed us to recreate a piece of paradise as possibly it should be.
Ever the content creator, Kanyesa was about to become a wildlife filmmaker, seeing the world through the eyes of trail guide Rian Brandt.
Yes, one of the very interesting plants that grows in the area. This is from the bulbine family.
Oh.
All the bulbines have this very nice gel inside, much like aloe gel.
It doesn't smell. It doesn't
have a smell.
It's very leafy.
And it's really, really good for your skin. Very high in vitamin E. It's good for burns, skin irritations, things like that. So there's a lot of medicine in nature that we can use that we need to conserve and look after, because we don't need to go to the pharmacy. It's all here. Here we have the sweet thorn tree, Acacia carew or Vitilia carew. And if you look closely at the thorns, you'll see something interesting.
Oh, wow.
There's a type of wasp called a gall wasp. The female stings the thorn. What she's doing is injecting protein into the thorn, which causes it to grow bigger. She lays an egg, and the little baby wasp, the larvae, goes into the thorn and eats on the inside of the thorn. So the mom creates a safe place for the little one to grow up and provides a food source for the little one. Eventually he pupates, he emerges, finds a mate, and the whole cycle continues.
So is that why we have bigger thorns on this bush?
Exactly
Has that process happened to all of them?
Exactly. The bigger thorns are due to that interaction between the wasp and the tree.
Love that.
Another passion that this dynamo has discovered is Amapiano house music. Using her platform to slowly introduce her music, she began by remixing softer English songs into African languages, and 2 months ago released her first 5-track EP.
I've gotten the opportunity in 2021 to work with amazing artists such as Malum's on Dex, Mr. Jazik. I have Lady 2 on a song. I mean, her whole name explains who she is and her persona, and it's so amazing that I could develop a personal relationship with her, you know, because she's a mentor, she's also a female in the Amapiano industry, and she's doing pretty well. So, you know, there's so much we can take from her, yeah.
And from Kanyesa's mother,
I wish her to fly more with eagle wings and go very far. I give her my blessings.
Oh, Mom. Oh, girl, you're gonna make me cry. Stop.
Yeah.
with your mum as your hero and champion, you can't go wrong. Just ahead, Ryle de Morny, aka Nature Boy, is the career professional who found life in the great outdoors, success on TV, and wants us to take the leap too. Our next stop is a day's Kloofing with a life-saving hero who many owe their lives to. Known as the fastest man on sand, he has grown his passion for life into a successful TV career and is now best known on Expresso Morning Show by another handle.
What is up, you beautiful people? Nature Boy here, otherwise known as Ryle the Morny, and we are out in the thick of it. We are out in Hottentots, Holland's incredible playground. This is the penultimate adventure when it comes to hiking. And of course, with it being the new year, it's a time for new beginnings, a new opportunity to slay away and maybe reinvent yourself. Now, I've brought my buddies along. I've got Lange and Tolly. This is the T-Man and Darren Peterson. These guys are my buddies since sub A, so I'm hoping to get some fun and action out of the two of them. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's shake and bake.
Yeah, buddy.
It's playtime.
Of Ryle's friends, Tariq is the action man and fellow lifesaver at home on the beach. Darren is the producer and drummer, happiest in studio. Both were out of their natural element in this Hottentot Holland Nature Reserve. 7,000 hectares of mountain gorges, home to 1,300 fynbos species and 110 bird species.
What makes this place so special is we have the T-Butters Kloof Dam, which provides water to Cape Town. We have the Steenbras Dam that provides water to Cape Town. And all those rivers starts on this reserve. The town, Rivierzone End, is named after the Rivierzone End River, which starts on the reserve. So this is a mountain catchment area and quite important.
It was nearly a Ryle and Friends catchment area for this spinnacorp.
Wait, bro. What you gonna do? I'm going underneath. I'm going on, yeah. Come, let's go. No, just wait, no, it's moving. Don't touch me.
Just...
What's wrong? Why are you touching me in my neck, man?
No.
But don't touch me. Get away. Wait.
Go.
You. Ow, the jump skill.
I can see it.
Look, I can make it. But why are you all up in me? Why are you all up in my neck? Touching me, and you all up in my neck, bro. My knees are so sore.
No, are you gonna see it? No, it's got horns and everything. Hey,
How Ryle became the poster boy for this lifestyle had unlikely beginnings in his business degree and early career.
I think Nature Boy started because of this. I was someone chasing success. I was thinking that the degree, the suit, the money was all about what meant happiness. And that's what I chased until I realized that it wasn't filling any of the holes that I thought it would. I worked my butt off and I didn't get the stimulation that I thought I was chasing all that time until I found it right over here. And this is where Nature Boy was essentially born. The more time I spent in this incredible playground, the more alive I started to feel. And I think when I started shifting my focus away from material value and financial gain and started seeing beauty for what it actually was, that's when I realized that this is the office that I want to be in. Oh, it is absolute magic out here. Gents, how are you feeling?
Yo, loving it.
Still keeping up?
Looking forward to
it. So we just dipped into the magic right now and we crossed the Boegoes Kloof River, stepping straight out of that, and around the corner is our final destination. Already, it's got this ominous feel. The clouds are just above us. It's already ticking the bucket list. Fact of the day. So right down there is where they call the area Junction Pool, and it's also the Rivierzone End. So that'll kind of be the end of our Kloof mission, but that technically runs all the way through to T-Butters Kloof, and that's our drinking water, so no peeing in the river. Really?
Who's the nervous one, yeah? Who's the nervous
Get
one,
those nerves sorted. This is the privilege of you guys having me on the trail. I stand in front, I lead the way, and I open up the trail. Guardium Leviosa. See how I protect you guys?
So does it need to come with screaming as well?
You go in front of me.
I'm okay, but I'm not a leader. I'm not Nature Boy. Hey.
We sacrifice you. I take the hits for everyone.
All three amigos would have to suck it up for the 8-hour gauntlet to come, one which Marius announced with just enough menace.
Suicide Gorge, that is one of the 2 Kloofing roads that we have. So yeah, what you do is you hike your way up the mountain and then you jump your way down the mountain. Come down with the river, the pools, but once you stand on top of that waterfall, you go down. You really find out how long a second is.
François!
How's it going, dude?
Lekker, and you?
I can play. I'll Good. Guys, ready?
Yeah, man, can't wait.
Guys, welcome to Suicide Gorge. I hope you brought your wetsuits and your big boy pants. It's gonna be a good one. Yeah. Go.
So we just dropped into the gorge, and as we arrive, things are taking a little bit of a change. And I mean that literally. We are changing from our hiking gear and getting ready to put wetsuits on. This is making everything feel a lot more real. A little bit of nerves are creeping in, and I think this is where the action really starts to happen.
Usually when we are putting our wetsuits on, it's normally by the beach, and it's always with this guy because we've been lifeguards since I don't know how long, and we were friends since sub 8, eh?
Sub 8, yeah.
That's it. Myself and Tuli have been coaching life-saving for so many years now. We've taken the sport in the country to the highest level, all the way to world champs. He's been my right-hand man as well for some of my accolades, representing the country, representing South Africa at world champs, and clapping so many records between the two of us. We've had so many incredible accomplishments, and not only that, but having someone like this, he's hard, he's strong, he's the guy that I have with me that keeps the mind focused, and all throughout these years I think it's the only man that I've really trusted 100% when it comes to saving someone's life, and that's what we do best as lifeguards, eh?
Yeah, we every day on the beach saving lives, just doing the duty, the general duty, and creating lifeguards was one of our biggest aspects as a head coach and a head teacher as well. And we've had some hectic days. We've saved a number of lives, I would say over 50.
I think we can reflect and start celebrating. So what do you say we do that right now? You ready for this one?
Any day, brother, any day. I'll follow you into war, my friend. Let's go, let's go. Woo!
So we are officially inside the gorge, suited up. Oh, and it's a little bit frosty. Hey, we're gonna come alive today.
Hiking in the water and kloofing is very, very different to your normal average hike. Firstly, you're obviously literally walking in the river. So every single step that you take, you've got to be very cautious. You could be walking on a rock, you could be walking on sand, you never really know. And the fact that we have such rich tannins when it comes to the botanicals and the fynbos in the area, it means that the water is also a little bit dark too. So you really have to navigate properly, coupled with the fact that you are also using sometimes your hands and your feet to get over certain sections. You're bouldering, you're hopping, you're climbing, you're scrambling. Every single move requires a lot of stabilization, core control, and using almost every element of your body and your strength that you have. The first task is a natural water slide. It's based on this crazy slope of a waterfall which has a covering full of moss, and you kind of just have to find the line, get into the slide, and it throws you straight into the first pool. And that sets you off for the rest of the mayhem and crazy action to come.
The difference between ending up in Riviersonne End or the ER is a guide.
I would recommend to everybody, it's essential that you have a guide when you do an adventure like this. Every rock pool has a different depth, and that means each one could be dangerous if you don't know where you are actually jumping. And that's the beauty of having Francois around. He allows us to obviously maximize a little fun, staying in the good lane and not having to worry too much about the risks. We're approaching our first big technical jump. This one's known as the Widowmaker. Now you really have to have your wits about you. It's a narrow jump. You really need to hit the mark specifically after you launch. And oh, let me tell you, once you hit the bottom of the water, it's full send after that.
If Ryle is the undisputed king of beach sprints in international competitive lifesaving, these gorges have a way of humbling you.
Generally, the mountain for me wasn't a very common place, and the more time I spent in it, the more confidence I grew within myself. It's crazy how you come out here with all these fears and misconceptions. Am I going to be able to climb the mountain? Am I going to be able to swim? Will I be able to hold on? And it takes something as simple as just jumping off that rock and just doing it for you to actually realize that I'm more equipped than I ever thought before. And the more I did that, the more I started to discover who I was and started realizing that, hey, there's something more here that I want to share with the rest of the world.
As a Learn to Swim instructor and lifesaver, Tarek heads into dangerous waters daily. Creative artist, producer and drummer Darren needed a little encouragement.
So we've done a lot of sliding, a lot of navigating, abseiling and some small jumps, and now we are getting to the big stuff. Some of these jumps go up to 22 meters high. On average it's around 12 to 14 meters, and now it's getting serious. As you step up to take that jump, everything hits you at once. It's so overwhelming because you look so far down and you think to yourself, am I gonna do this? Am I gonna make this jump? Phew!
halfway into the gorge already, and it has been an immense magic amount of fun right now. We've been sliding, yeah?
Yeah, dude.
We've been jumping,
yes.
We've been diving, we've been swimming. How are you feeling?
Bro, but I mean, I honestly feel like I've pushed myself beyond, because this is an extreme phobia of mine. Heights, so, bro, it's definitely stepping out, dude.
I'm proud of you, bro. You're stepping up, dialing in. Almost time for the big ones that are coming up. I know you're going to be sooking that.
Yes, it's been amazing. Honestly, just sending it on top of the rocks. Us, this is what we love.
We need to send.
Yeah, full send, my friend. You gotta send it.
Knowing guides have tested the depth, Ryle was happy to take the leap.
Wow! Yeah! Well, for me, Ryle de Morny, your nature boy, I can truly say that this is an adventure that has set me up for the year. I have endorphins rushing through me. My mana source of energy has been fulfilled by all this magic around me, and I'm ready to slay away.
Maybe the message was that our favorite homegrown heroes are those who strike out boldly in new directions, then return to show the rest of us the way. Right after this, when need of any kind arises, Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman and Gift of the Givers live by the words, if not us, who? If not now, when? And it makes them heroes to us all.
Sponsored by Capitec. Simplify banking. Live better.
Following a calling that has led him to a life of service, founder of Gift of the Givers, Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman is a remarkable humanitarian and family man. Having received countless accolades of the highest order, he remains deeply committed to his faith and lives a life of humility.
In August 1992, it was a Thursday night, the 6th of August, at 10 p.m. At some point in the day, I'd met a spiritual teacher. That same teacher that night looked me in the eye after a zikr ceremony. A zikr ceremony is a celebration of God's names. He looked at me and looked heavenwards at the same time, and in fluent Turkish. And I don't understand a word of Turkish, but I understood every single word that he said. He said, "My son, I'm not asking you. I'm instructing you to form an organization. The name in Arabic will be Waqful Waqifin. Translated, it means gift of the givers. You will serve all people of all races, of all religions, of all colors, of all classes, of all cultures, of any geographical location and of any political affiliation. But you will serve them unconditionally. You will not expect anything in return, not even a thank you. This is an instruction for you for the rest of your life. And remember that whatever you do is done through you and not by you." I asked him, how come is it that when you speak Turkish, I understand, and when somebody else speaks Turkish, I don't understand? He said, "My son, when the hearts connect and the souls connect, the words become understandable." Gift of the Givers is now the largest disaster response agency of African origin on the African continent. Our disaster intervention includes the provision of blankets, foods, medicine, tents, and all type of relief items. But in addition to that, we have dedicated volunteer teams with search and rescue capacity and capability. Everything is portable. We can carry the equipment in a plane and be a mobile hospital in the airport runway. That's how efficient the system is.
Dedicating his time and energy to making a positive difference, Dr. Suleiman is making the world a better place for future generations, including his own children.
The time you take your child to school, have a cup of tea with them, sit with them for a few minutes, those are the minutes to cherish because they're very few and far between. The work consumes everything. And as you know, COVID-19 has just taken over our life. We've been working 20 hours a day from the 15th of March up till today, and there's no end in sight.
Daddy helps all the people with the hospitals and stuff, and that is giving in food for all the people and water and the sheep and the cows too.
Gift of the Givers has over 140 staff who work tirelessly to provide aid. One of these is Imtiaz's son Mohammed, who has been inspired by his father's work.
I grew up in this organization, so I've seen his dream, I've seen what he's been trying to do, I've seen him build up and try to help in different places. And just growing up around that, I knew from then that I wanted to be part of it. We have our operations running in South Africa, in Malawi, in Zimbabwe, in Somalia, in Yemen, in Syria, and in Palestine. So we have dedicated teams in each of these countries that take care of the roles. The type of roles are similar in every country. We split it up between administration, logistical support, and then field operations. The field operations means our interaction with the community, that last line support to make sure that we're getting to the right people, ensuring that we're helping the right beneficiaries, and that the goods are being delivered where we say they are. Every disaster comes with its own challenges, whether it's a flood or whether it's an earthquake or whether it's storms. The type of logistical requirements are different from each disaster. But over the last 28 years, we've developed the experience, the partnerships, and the support from our own staff, the in-house skill, to be able to respond to these type of disasters.
Going above and beyond just being a bank, Capitec understands the positive impact they can make to communities.
COVID-19 has been our biggest project ever. You would think that at a time like this, where people have been economically affected, the donations will have difficulty in coming. But companies, take for example Capitec, they were one of the first people that came when COVID-19 started. And they said, look, we're prepared to support with PPEs, with high-flow oxygen machines, with tents and testing kits and testing machines. And then later on, as the months went by, we said people are hungry. They said buy food parcels. And they contributed to a lot of food parcels in the Free State. They contributed towards boards in the Free State and Eastern Cape. So Capitec's contribution has been phenomenal.
Gift of the Givers are often contacted by those in need and are quick to respond, providing hope and adding value to people's lives.
I'm very, very glad to be here today, and as we all see, these people are happy and they're appreciating what we are giving them, even though it's not going to last them forever, but it will make a difference in their communities and in their families as well.
Ngithi sibonga kakhulu konke sikunikezwe Gift of the Givers. Sibonga siyanconcoma nje ngoba besiveli singenalutho abantwana bethu bayafunda. Asinawo amandla okuqhuba izinto zonke. Siyabonga.
I-Gift of the Givers iyinhlangano esiza umhlaba wonke. Wonke umhlaba ungathembela ku-Gift of the Givers.
Hands up to Gift of the Givers. May God bless them and keep it a good work.
Realizing that every child has a right to proper education and understanding the challenges, they are committed to improving the conditions under which children are taught.
This project has made a huge difference in the lives of our learners and the community. Before the supply of the water, our school used to close early, as learners could not concentrate as there was no water. Now, children are at school for the required hours, and learning and teaching has improved tremendously. I want to express my gratitude to Gift of the Givers and all partners that were involved in helping us with the supply of water at school and to the community.
Capitec, as one of the companies, has proven what private sector, government, and civil society like Gift of the Givers can do when we combine our strengths and our energies. We can benefit people in an enormous manner. When the country is so affected economically, we need these kind of partnerships to work together for one purpose only, for the purpose of the people who are vulnerable in South Africa who can't help themselves. Let's hold hands together, look after our neighbor, the next person in the next street, the next village, or the next town, and let's help each other to benefit this country collectively and together.
Win 2,000 Rand for your local hero, courtesy of Capitec. Reply with #LiveBetter and tell us how you or someone you know makes a positive impact on others. Get more of the Insider SA online. Follow, connect, engage, and be inspired to live better with the Insider SA. Watch the show Monday evenings at 5:30. Repeat Saturday at 1 on S3.